Hi Virgo, welcome. Thank you for tuning in to my channel, The Fool's Journey Tarot. You are watching a general love reading for the sign of Virgo for this coming week. Today is Wednesday, July 29th. This is a general love reading, and that means that it can apply to anything in your life, relationships, situations and or circumstances surrounding family, work, home, social circles, community. Basically, if you can think of it, it might apply. I also want to remind you to be flexible with the energy. Don't concern yourself with the gender of the cards or the pronouns I'm using to describe them. You can be represented by any of the characters that shows up in the cards. That also means, of course, that you might feel like I'm reading for you, but you could feel like you're cross-watching. Parts of the reading may resonate, other parts may not. Take what does and leave what doesn't. My intention is to reach those that need this message and will benefit from it. So I hope you enjoy the reading, Virgo, but I also hope that by the time you finish watching this, you feel like you got something that's worth your while, worth your time, maybe helpful or beneficial to you in some way, shape, or form. Okay, Virgo, so we'll get started here after a couple more shuffles. If you're relatively new or unfamiliar with my channel, first of all, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find more specific information regarding my readings and my videos in the description box. Also behind me is Carmilla. She's hanging out in her travel cage. For some reason, she's been wanting to stay in her cage today. She's my son's bird. She's a green-cheeked conure. And then Sylvester the cat, who's also my son's pet, is napping in the living room. He's looking pretty comfortable right now, so I don't think he'll make an appearance, but he's really, really cute. So if he doesn't make an appearance in this video, Virgo, maybe check out another video, because he's often around in my other videos. Okay, Virgo. Also, returning viewers, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate your support tremendously. Okay, I'm going to give this first deck one more good shuffle, Virgo, and then we're going to see what's in the cards for Virgo. Here we go. So let's start off with the Three of Cups. And then we have the Ten of Cups in reverse. Seven of Swords in reverse. The Five of Pentacles. Six of Cups. The Lovers in reverse. The Tower. And then we have Temperance. Okay, so with Three of Cups, Ten of Cups, in your underlying energy, Virgo, you could be dealing with a group of people. Maybe this is a family dynamic, social circle, friends, colleagues, or co-workers possibly. I think you're dealing with a specific relationship within a group dynamic. Six of Cups energy and Lovers. This is somebody that's extremely significant to you. This could be soulmate material. This does not have to be an intimate or romantic connection, but it can be. This is just somebody who's very significant in your life. This could be somebody you have a soul contract with. Somebody maybe you've spent a lot of time with, built a significant relationship with. Six of Cups can indicate a past energy, somebody coming back in to your life from the past, or this could just indicate a relationship of longevity. Someone, a soulmate or soul contract means that you might have, made an agreement in the 5D with this individual that you want to spend some time with them in this 3D existence of ours, experiencing life together, going through some life lessons together, trying to make sense of our human existence. So this person is meant to have crossed your path in some way, shape, or form. But I feel like it could be a troubled relationship. There could be some problems. Perhaps there's separation or lack of communication. Lovers in reverse can also indicate making choices for the wrong reasons. that kind of thing, but we'll get some more cards out here and see what else we have. Let's see what else we get for Virgo. Ace of Cups in reverse. And then we have the Empress in reverse. Nine of Swords in reverse. Three of Swords in reverse. Strength in reverse. The World in reverse. The High Priestess. And then we have the Ten of Swords. So we have an Empress in reverse on the table. I feel like there may have been some trouble within a specific relationship, within a group dynamic. Again, this could be a family situation, group of friends, social circle, colleagues at work. It feels like there's one specific relationship that could be troubled, or there could be some conflict. I feel like you might like to make things right. I think you have a little bit of concern regarding this connection, and you'd like to make things right, but I don't think you've been able to do that yet, Virgo. I'm not getting a super strong message yet from this set of cards. So let's get some more out here and see what else we get. Virgo. Six of Swords in reverse. The Hermit in reverse. The Emperor in reverse now. Five of Wands in reverse. Two of Cups in reverse, clarifying the Six of Cups. Ace of Wands. The King of Wands. And the Chariot in reverse. Okay, so there's this Empress energy on the table, and there's an Emperor in reverse as well. So I feel like so far this is a two-person reading. An Emperor and an Empress, both are in reverse. We also have a King of Wands. I think this is probably also the Emperor, but I might change my mind about that. I feel like there's this Empress energy feels discontent within a group of people, and it has to do with a specific relationship. I think that there's something about this group dynamic that's causing problems for this Empress. It could be the mix of people, for example, or maybe she doesn't get along with one or more people within this group dynamic. I feel like this person feels like she's been ostracized to a certain extent. Like she's been left out. I keep getting picked on or bullied. I get the feeling like she feels like she might be, maybe she's the butt of some jokes. Maybe she doesn't get along with one or more people, but it feels like, you know, when you get together with a group of people and there might be one person who people kind of joke about, and it's all fun and games unless you're the person who's the butt of the jokes, and then it starts to feel bad. That's what I'm getting from the energy of the cards right now. This person is involved with a group of people. It feels like a close-knit group, but because there's some contention within the group or conflict, or there's just people who are not very nice to each other, it could just be that there's, you know, you poke fun at somebody and it's meant to be a joke, but really you kind of want to hurt that person a little bit because maybe you don't like them. I don't know. I'm just making a suggestion. It just feels like this person might be on the receiving end of some uncomfortable energy from a group dynamic. It could be one or more people within a group dynamic. And I feel like she could be, I don't like to say victim, that's what keeps coming into my head. She's the butt of the jokes, or she feels victimized to a certain extent. Kind of a target, so to speak. That's what I'm getting. And because of that, within this group of people, her relationship with this Emperor, which feels like the Six of Cups energy to me, has been negatively affected. So this Empress feels like she's a target within this group dynamic, and it's affecting the relationship with this Emperor, who feels, I think it's even weakened the relationship. I think it has caused some significant problems within the relationship between this Emperor and Empress, and it's because of the influence of other people. It could be that, you know, again, if let's say you're at a party and someone starts cracking a joke and you know, and I'm talking to you as though you might be the Empress, you quickly realize that, you know, you're the one who's going to feel like you're on the receiving end of this joke, and you're the target, and you're just supposed to go along with it and laugh and haha, it's funny. But it's still hurtful to a certain extent, right? I've been in that situation, so I know what it's like. Because everybody's close-knit, because everybody's friends, or this is a family member, everybody kind of laughs, haha. No big deal, right, Virgo? It's just a joke, but it's hurtful. And then this Emperor, I feel like he is not necessarily taking matters into his own hands in any way, shape, or form to defend this Empress energy. In Virgo, I'm reading right now as though you are this Empress, but I want to remind you, you could be the Emperor energy, or you could be an external party who's not represented yet within the cards that's affected by the situation. Even if you're a Virgo, you can still feel like you're cross-watching, you're an external party. If you're a female, you can embody this Emperor, and vice versa with the Emperor. Male can embody the Empress energy. But I feel like this person is significant to this Empress, but he's not necessarily defending her. Or, you know, telling some, you know what, you might think it's funny, but it's actually hurtful. Why don't you just knock it off? I don't think that he's necessarily doing that. To a certain extent, I think he sees what's happening. But again, it's supposed to be lighthearted, right? It's just a joke, no big deal. I think that this Emperor maybe has a little bit of internal conflict with regard to what's going on within this group dynamic, because I think he'd like to defend this Empress, but he's also not really necessarily willing to make a big deal out of it, because it is supposed to be lighthearted, joking, right? No big deal. But I feel like she's kind of been singled out. This Empress energy really feels like she's been singled out, ostracized, or really become a target. And I feel like it's something that's reoccurring, or it's something that could be something that just is ongoing. But it's definitely affected this relationship. And this relationship between this Empress and Emperor is significant. Now, I think this Emperor energy is also this King of Wands. And this King of Wands, Emperor, this is somebody who is in a position of power. And when I say that, this could be a father figure, a paternal figure. This could be somebody who's a boss. This could be somebody who organizes groups, a CEO, somebody who others look up to, somebody that others look to for guidance. He has a position of power in some sense, and by power I don't necessarily mean he's like pointing his fingers and bossing people around. He has a certain level of authority. People look up to him. He's got leadership qualities and abilities about him. Could be very outgoing, somebody who's ambitious, somebody who's not afraid of a challenge. But even though he's in this position, he's not necessarily defending this Empress energy. I think part of the reason why he's not defending this Empress energy is not just because whatever is happening within this group dynamic, it's meant to be lighthearted, it's meant to be a joke, no big deal. But when it happens over time and it happens repeatedly, well, it's not necessarily just a joke anymore, right? It can become hurtful if it's a repeated event, and I feel like it's something that's happened over time, and I feel like it's something that she has become accustomed to, because I don't think it's just a one-time event. And it's just been, this Emperor has just kind of let it slide. He's not addressing it. He's not reprimanding anybody. He's not pointing out to anybody, hey, this can be hurtful, why don't you just knock it off? He's not doing that, and I think part of that is because he's seen as kind of a team player. He's in this like a coaching type position. Not like a coach, but somebody who kind of oversees other people. So he is seen as somebody who needs to treat everybody with the same level of respect. Treat everybody equally. Give everybody a chance. He's not going to play favorites. He's very he's a team player. I don't know how else to put that. If he were to defend this Empress, for example, maybe it would look like he's playing favorites, or he is on her side versus others. Do you know what I mean? And then it's not a joke, and then it's not lighthearted, because then somebody's defending somebody else, and then it turns into a conflict, an argument, because then the intention of the joke is actually redirected. Or so with somebody pointing out, hey, that can be hurtful, well, then all of a sudden the person doing it feels judged, right? Or feels maybe a little defensive, because then their little joke has turned into something else, and then they might take offense at this king siding with this Empress. That's what I've got right now. It's interesting that I went from those first two sets of cards, I was just getting nothing, and now this third set, I've got this whole story going on in my head. I can see these people sitting at, a Thanksgiving dinner table, and the jokes start being passed around, and, everybody's laughing. Maybe somebody's drinking a little too much. You always have that uncle who's drinking a little too much, right? Laughing, joking, lighthearted, spirited. But then, you know, someone might say something that's just a little bit off color, or somebody's just like, you know, I can take a jab at this Empress and she can't take it seriously because everybody's joking around, no big deal. That kind of thing. So I've got this story going on in my head. We'll see if this next set of cards confirms what I'm feeling with this first 3 sets. Let's see what else we get for Virgo. So we have the 2 of Cups in reverse again with the Ace of Cups. So I feel like this Ace of Cups actually represents this. Let me get the rest of these out. And we have the Hangman in reverse, which is interesting that this came out. I'm going to set these down for a second. I don't want to shuffle those again. I'm going to take them out, put the rest of the cards out. Sometimes I'll do this. I'll pick up the cards midway between putting them all out on the table, and I end up shuffling them again and mess up. So the Hangman in reverse, to me, and then this Ace of Cups, to me this can indicate, in reverse, can indicate kind of a victim mentality, or needing self-care, needing to focus on oneself, feeling less than, and especially with the Empress in reverse too. And it's affecting this relationship. So she might have acquired a lower self-esteem or feeling bad about herself within this group dynamic because of what's happening within the group. She may have distanced herself with the Hermit in reverse coming out here. This can indicate isolation. You know, the Hermit and the Upright can indicate going inward, reflecting on, you know, whatever, and just taking some time to yourself. In the reverse, it can indicate doing that to the extreme, maybe staying away too long or secluding yourself. And I do get that sense that maybe this Empress has distanced herself because of this dynamic within this group. There is a little bit of a victim mentality mindset going on here. It'll be interesting if we get the Queen of Cups in reverse too, because that to me would confirm the same kind of idea for this Empress. So let's see what else we get. The 7 of Swords, this time in the upright position. Magician. Star in reverse. 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Six of Cups, this time in the reverse. And then we have the 8 of Pentacles. So I am getting, with this set of cards, to me, this is indicating that this situation within this group dynamic, or what's going on within this group of people, has affected this Empress to the point where I feel like she's distancing herself, or she at least wants to. Maybe she feels like she'd like to get away or separate herself because she's starting to feel a little down on herself, feeling maybe a little insecure, feeling a little bit, again, picked on, targeted, that kind of thing. I think that this Emperor has not really acted to make matters better for this person. I think that he could. I think that considering he's got this King of Wands energy about him, kind of a leadership role, somebody that other people look up to, he could potentially make things better for this Empress, but he hasn't done it. And as a result, I think she may have distanced herself, or she wants to, or I think that he can see that she is, I think he knows that she is a little bit hurt by this situation. And ultimately, if this Empress feels like this Emperor could do something about it, and maybe should do something about the behavior that's going on within this group, it could be hurtful to her that he's not acting. And as a result, the dynamic of this relationship between this Emperor and this Empress is changing, or has changed. There is a certain level of resentment that's building up. And I think it's building up over time. And it's weakening this connection to the point where it ultimately could end the connection. It's changing this connection to the point where it could potentially bring it full stop and end this connection altogether. I think the connection between this Emperor and Empress is significant. I think it's one that has developed over time. If it hasn't developed over time, again, Six of Cups energy, this can be somebody who's in your life for a long period of time. It could be somebody you met yesterday. It doesn't mean that they are not a soulmate energy to you. This could be somebody significant that you met yesterday and you had an instant connection with. I don't think it is somebody that you met yesterday if you're this Empress, but I'm just suggesting that. It doesn't have to be someone from your life, from your past, that you've had a long-standing relationship, but it certainly feels that way in this particular reading. It could be a spiritual connection, especially with the Emperor and Empress. This could be a spiritual connection. With the Lovers out here, Two of Cups twice, and with the High Priestess out here, you could have an intuitive connection with this person. But I feel like what's going on within this group dynamic is definitely affecting this relationship to the point where it could end it. And maybe this feels like future energy, but it could have already happened. Especially if this Empress has already distanced herself or removed herself from the situation, it is possible that to a certain extent this relationship has ended because she's not involved anymore. You could be in that position where this is like past energy. This is stuff that has already happened. If you're the Empress and you've already taken yourself out of the situation, that could be too. So let's get this last round out, Virgo, and see what else we get. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And then we have the Queen of Wands. Six of Wands in reverse. King of Cups in reverse. Justice. The Tower again. Queen of Swords in reverse. And then we have the Three of Cups in reverse this time. So I still feel like this is a two-person reading, and the Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, King of Cups all came out. And the King of Cups in reverse feels like the Emperor. The Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords in reverse feels like this Empress. So I'm going to talk about these different sets of cards here separately. So this feels like this could be a partnership of some kind. So we have the Queen of Wands, and the King of Wands. This could be a romantic or intimate connection between these two people. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. It feels like an established relationship to me. It feels like these people have known each other for a while. But again, this doesn't have to necessarily be true for your situation. Could be different for different sets of people watching. But I feel like this is a significant relationship, and again, it feels like a partnership of some kind. Now, the Queen of Wands is somebody who's very ambitious, very creative. Somebody who may have a lot on her plate. She can be very social. Somebody who's very active. Somebody who knows what she wants and she goes after what she wants. she has a very strong energy about her. So it could be, this could be part of the problem within this group dynamic, is that people feel like if she's, you know, she can take a joke, no big deal. The Queen of Wands is tough. She knows, you know, she's got a lot of confidence about herself, but I think that this is affecting her in a negative way within this group dynamic. I think that she is starting to lose a certain level of confidence, but you know, it can't feel good to always be the target of jokes or teasing, that kind of thing. And I don't think this King in Emperor energy has acted to defend her or side with her in any way, shape, or form. Again, it could be that he's just going along with things, treating it like it's no big deal. But I think that, at least in her mind, and she may have spoken these words out loud to this Emperor, King of Wands, this Queen may have said, look, this is hurtful. I think that she's probably keeping it to herself, however. I don't think that she's speaking the words, but I think that she's starting to build up some resentment toward this King because he's not defending her, or he's not coming to her aid, or pointing out that this is not real positive behavior. Something that should end, something that should come to an end. People need to stop doing this because it's not okay. It's not okay, by the way. You know, a joke once in a while, sure. But if you keep doing it, it can become very hurtful. And the person who is the target, it gets hurtful. I have been in that situation before. And you know, you laugh along with it. Ha ha, this is funny. Okay. But then, you know, people get a good response from the first joke, so they try another one, and you're still the butt of the joke, and then it starts to feel a little bit bad the second time. And then, you know, by the 20th time, it's like, okay, you know what? This isn't funny anymore. It's not funny for me anymore. It might be funny for everybody else, but it's not funny for me. But this is changing the dynamic of the relationship, and significantly so, and rightfully so. It is possible this relationship could suffer to the point of ending. This Queen might just walk. She might just say, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I think that she has a sense that this King doesn't care. He feels like he's being a little bit apathetic or uncaring or just emotionally removed from the situation. He's not seeing it for what it is. He's not seeing how this is affecting her on an emotional level. It's not registering to him. He might even feel like this Empress is making a big deal out of nothing. Mountain out of a molehill. Molehill. I think that's what he's saying. You're making a mountain out of a molehill. Come out from hiding and join the party. You're being ridiculous. I mean, he could be that insensitive. And if you're this King, I'm not trying to, you know, offend you by saying you're insensitive, but that's what the cards are telling me, that this King is like, you know what? You're making a mountain out of a molehill, making a big deal out of nothing. You're starting to feel sorry for yourself. This is no big deal. Get over it. So let's say, for example, you know, I know that still dealing with the quarantine, COVID-19, not quarantine necessarily, people are getting out and about, businesses are opening up again, but still to a certain extent, there's a lot of seclusion, there's a lot of people keeping to themselves. Maybe there's this big family event that's coming up for you, Virgo, and you just don't feel like going because you're tired of, you know you're going to be in the same position where people are going to joke around and they haven't seen you for a while, and everybody should be happy and giving each other big hugs and telling each other how much they miss each other. But as soon as that, you know, you crack open that first bottle of wine and people get a little booze inside their system, and then they start telling the jokes, and then they start getting hurtful, and then they're kind of oblivious to how people are reacting to what's being said, and you just don't feel like being in that situation again. So, you know, maybe you're telling this Emperor, this King, I'm not going to the birthday party. I just don't feel like it. I'm going to stay here home by myself. And he's like, you know, you're what? You're making a big deal out of nothing. Am I taking this card? I'm not going to take that card. I think the insensitivity or the lack of willingness to back this Empress person up is really hurtful for her. And again, it's definitely affecting this relationship. Okay, this one popped out. We're going to take this card, Virgo. The Ten of Wands, or the Ten of Fire. So the Ten of Fire is the Ten of Wands in the traditional Rider-Waite. It does have a little bit of a different meaning, and I'm actually a little surprised to see this one come out. I'm going to see how it applies to the situation. And then we're going to wrap this up, Virgo. But I do want to say before I read this card, I feel for this Empress, this Queen of Wands. I feel for her. And if you are this Empress, this Queen of Wands, there is nothing wrong with distancing yourself and saying, you know, I'm not going to put up with this shit. I'm just not going to do it. You guys can find some other target for your jokes. I'm not going to be it anymore. And this Emperor, King, if you are this Emperor, this King of Wands, you know, it wouldn't hurt to stand up for this Queen once in a while, or just pull someone aside and say, look, can you cool it on the jokes a little bit? It is hurtful. 1 is fine. 15, 20, not okay. You know, like there's at some point you're going to say, okay, enough. You know what I mean? Just backing her up or defending her once in a while might bring this relationship back to life, but I'm telling you what, it's suffering greatly because of the situation. So let's go ahead and read the Ten of Fire and see what this has to say. Again, a little surprised to see this one come out. I'm not sure how it's going to apply to this reading, but maybe something will pop into my head as I read it. And I can tell that the sun is going to be awkward as I read it. I'm trying to close that curtain a bit. Okay, Virgo, here we go. The Ten of Fire symbolizes mastery, not just of a skill or a craft, but of oneself. It means understanding the tools of your craft and wielding them with skill, precision, and craftsmanship. It is about knowing yourself and using that knowledge and understanding to bring to you all that you need and desire with the same level of skill, precision, and craftsmanship. The master illustrated in the Ten of Fire knows how to wield his personal power. He moves with clear intention, and he acts with the same intent. He is aware of what motivates his behavior and actions and exhibits complete self-command. He acts with deliberation and with complete awareness of the effect his actions will have upon himself and his environment. He is not only confident, he is also capable. He has evolved from a person who lacked awareness and perhaps even blamed others for the problems in his life because he was unable to see that every action gives rise to a consequence. He once stumbled about, his inexperience resulting in more mistakes than triumphs. But he continued, and in doing so, reached a crucial moment of enlightenment when he realized that in order to succeed, he had to take command of himself and his life. He had to take responsibility for every choice made, for every action, and for every emotion. From that moment on, he would shape his life, he would shape who he was. He would no longer be a slave to outside forces, he would become a master. If the Ten of Fire appears in your reading, he indicates a time to step up and take charge of your life. It is a time to dedicate yourself to the path of the master, not so you can have control over others, but so you can shape your life with skill and confidence. How does one become a master? It may require pushing one's mind and body to continue despite all impediments and perceived restrictions. It requires dedication and discipline and a willingness to set personal challenges and goals and stick to them. It also requires knowing when to stop and allow yourself to absorb and recharge. The master recognizes that there is a time for growth and a time to be dormant and rest. Above all, to become a master, you must be willing to learn. On a metaphysical level, see a lesson in all experiences. On a practical level, learn something that requires daily practice, and do not allow your first inevitable failures and mistakes inspire you to give up. Want to be a writer? Then the Ten of Fire suggests dedicating time to writing every day and learning how to write well. To be a musician, practice every day and take the time to learn correct technique and other fundamental elements. If you want to be thinner or stronger, move every day and embrace healthy eating habits. If you want to save money, learn how to be frugal and careful and live in a way that costs you less. Choose to be good at what you do, whatever it is that you do. Being a master is not about being the best or being number one. The Ten of Fire symbolizes giving your best and continuing to improve and grow, because by giving your best each and every time, you challenge and push yourself just a little bit further until you do become second nature to you. Until what you do becomes second nature to you. I'm having a really hard time with this for some reason. In general, when the Ten of Fire is drawn, consider it a message to act and to not make excuses. To be a master, you have to be willing to work with your mind and hands with an almost religious observance. There is no other way. Finally, the Ten of Fire also symbolizes reaching that point where dedication and hard work have created ease and surety. That moment when you can look at the task before you and say with confidence that you understand what you have to do and you are capable of doing it well. It's a powerful moment. Take the time to acknowledge it and enjoy it. Celebrate your achievements and accomplishments, no matter how big or small they are. Shine, rejoice. You have earned this moment in the spotlight. Delight in it and allow it to inspire further fearless exploration, growth, and evolution. Honestly, I think this could represent the king, the queen, or both of these energies. I think what this is saying basically is stand up for yourself. I think that this Queen of Wands typically wouldn't put up with this kind of situation. And I think that this card is indicating, you know what, it's time to show who you really are. And maybe stand up and say, you know what, you need to stop doing what you're doing. I'm not putting up with this crap anymore. It is hurtful, and just don't do it. So maybe that's what this card is all about, is just saying, look, this is who I am. You know, stop treating me like I'm not this. And stand up for yourself. If it's meant for this King of Wands, and it could be, again, both of these people are the type of people that would typically embody this kind of energy where they are the masters of their domain. They don't typically have the energy of being a victim or less than. And I think that both of these people could potentially embody this kind of energy and put an end to this situation and strengthen the relationship. Push forward with the relationship. Because I think that's what this relationship needs, is for these people to embody who they are and get back on track with who they are. So I'm going to leave that here. I hope that this reading resonated. Virgo, I hope that it was helpful to you in some way, shape, or form. Thank you so much for watching. If it did resonate, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you want to, and I'll see you next time. Bye.